Yeah. MD, JPB, it's only right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of Otis, and I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. Today I am doing What If Naruto Was a Speedster, the finale. I hope you guys enjoy it, part 7. I don't have really much else to say except y'all been noticing that I posted very consistently these past, I think 2 days, 3 days. It might go away soon. This was just because of a lucky, break. My friend had to get out of his house for a bit with his whole family, so I got the whole place to myself, so I fully recorded. And yeah, hopefully you guys are satisfied with that. But this is going to be the end of What If Naruto Was a Speedster, and along will come What If Deku Was a Technopath. We're going back into MHA. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Trust anybody else in my what ifs. Hit the notification bell. Hit that like button. Always hit that like button. And yeah, check out the Discord as well. Let's begin. So we last started off with Madara infiltrating the village, and Naruto fought him, locking him up. But in advance, he summoned a giant meteor atop the entire village. This is when Naruto destroys the meteor with an infinite mass punch, and the village would declare him the hero. Then after a bit of resting, Naruto would instantly fix the houses and go train, and he would then be, rehabilitated. Now while training, he would meet Ebisu and have a little talk, and this is when Naruto went back to that night. However, Naruto decided not to change the past, only to then go further into the past when he was trying to go back to his own time, and he learned about his true origin. So he stayed in the past for a while and then came back to his own time, and then soon the Kage Summit would be called and all the Kage came to the leaf. But little did everyone know, Zetsu was doing something that would endanger everyone, but Naruto was also taking care of some business. So when the Kage Summit starts, Madara is brought in and absolutely baffling everyone, but then Naruto will be introduced and A wants to issue a challenge to see who's stronger. We then go to the training grounds where Kage and their guards would be at the side looking at Naruto facing the right Kage. So what's the challenge? He looks so much like him, A would think. If you manage to beat me, I will acknowledge that you maybe beat Madara. That depends on how high your skill level is. Then would you start us off, my lord? Jiraiya then raises his hand and drops it with the Raikage lunging at Naruto. Let's see if you can... A would then be slammed into the ground as Naruto appears right behind him, punching him in the back. Not bad, says the Tsuchikage. The Raikage then gets up seeing Naruto waiting for him with a simple smile. He then turned on his lightning cloak. Don't look down on me. His speed then increases even more, but he still gets sent flying into the forest, this time surprising all the Kage. The Raikage then gets up once again, blasting off, destroying a part of the forest. Wasn't the only person who could beat him the fourth Hokage? Does that mean Naruto surpasses him in speed, Gaara would ask? Jiraiya would then say he actually does surpass Minato because that's Minato's son anyway, so he's fine, and revealing it, Naruto really doesn't care either because he's strong enough to protect himself if people come after him. So Naruto and the Raikage just keep going back fighting, with Dari and C, his attendants, being genuinely impressed that anyone could overpower him at all. Soon the Raikage would actually make Naruto catch his punch with a huge amount of pressure ripping up the ground behind Naruto, but Naruto himself was unaffected. This is when A realized that this kid hadn't gone all out, and if he did, then he would be dead already. So he takes back his fist and says Naruto is stronger, much to his dismay. To think that arrogant man even admitted his loss is a miracle, says the Tsuchikage. So after this fight, Jiraiya says he wants to show them why they should form an alliance with the Leaf, taking them and Mifune to Naruto's workshop where they will be allowed to raid his storage and check out his new inventions. And this includes the first chakra revolver, which Dari would pick up being interested in it. And when Naruto showed how it worked, he and everyone would be impressed by it. And he also gets in a conversation over some ideas he had to make ninja stronger than ever. And he and the Kage would gather at his work desk and he lays out the plans for a machine that would rejuvenate warriors naturally and without any side effects. Does this work for anyone? Asked Mifune. Naruto would then say, oh yeah, even for non-shinobi. The fluid in the tank puts you in a sleep state. Well, it takes about 1 hour to heal whatever injury you have, and it can slow down the effects of aging. All the Kage instantly know that this is an awesome deal, but it's still hard since there's a lot of animosity between the villages. Naruto then brings out another invention which was made for the samurai, but it can be used by ninjas too. Kakashi Sensei, you can come in. The Kage then turn around to see Kakashi entering wearing an advanced sort of armor, a type that doesn't really restrict your movements as much and it's more free. You don't have to call me sensei, says Kakashi. All of a sudden, Kakashi would then be surrounded by the Kage who inspect him as Naruto then explains what the machine can do and how it can help people. The armor is basically molded to fit Kakashi's exact size, and it also can help and hold his sword for him. And due to the design of the armor, it increases your strength tenfold and 20 if you use your chakra. Naruto also punches it, showing that it can absorb a lot of impact. As a matter of fact, Kakashi is going to test this out in the field during missions. Mifune then shakes Naruto's hand, saying he wouldn't mind forming an alliance, and he already likes Naruto. Then let's have a talk later, says Naruto. The other Kage would want to really now form an alliance, and Gaara notices this, getting happy because it's good for people to be connected, and united in these complicated times. And soon the meeting ends, and before leaving, Mei says that she would like to talk later if possible. So the Kage leave, and Jonin on the street, the Jonins on the street feel pretty proud, since it seems that the Kages are pretty shaken, like they're shocked at the amount of power that Konoha actually has. Now, as Jiraiya and Naruto stand at the gate saying goodbye to the Kage, Jiraiya then sees that Naruto looks pretty happy with how things turns out, and he asks him if he is, and Naruto says, I am. Now, as he says this, he and Jiraiya would then be hit by a gust of wind as a clone passes by them entering the village, and another one bites the dust. What do you mean? Itachi Uchiha has been caught. This surprises Jiraiya as, by this point, they've basically caught all the Akatsuki members, and he was quickly going to contact Gaara, letting him know as he was on his way back home. Time skip to the next day, as Itachi would be in a cell, someone visits him, and it will be Danzo. Itachi Uchiha, seems like you just never succeed. Look at you now. What is the purpose of your visit? Danzo would then say, I just came here to let you know, as much as I despise Naruto, he will make her life a living hell, and what? He then looks to see Sasuke has entered, and he would ask who let him in here, and Jiraiya says he did, entering with Naruto in his Anbu mask, and he had changed his hair to black for now because he didn't want Sasuke to know who he was yet. Jiraiya would then say, Danzo Shimura, you were hereby arrested on the grounds of involvement in mass genocide. He then comes up and rips his sleeve off, and Danzo tries to hide it, but his arm is full of Sharingan. What I did was for the sake of... His eyes would then roll up as he loses consciousness, and Naruto catches him, clearly having knocked him out, and he then teleports away, putting Danzo in prison. Meanwhile, Jiraiya sees Sasuke crying with his Mangekyo actually activated. When they told me, at first I couldn't believe it. We then flash back to Sasuke being called into the office by Jiraiya yesterday, and he sees Naruto holding a certain folder. This is probably going to make you mad, but sit down, it's about Itachi. We then go back to the present when Itachi would be shocked to see that Sasuke unlocked his Mangekyo, and he would say, I wish you never had to get those eyes. Sasuke then sniffles, wiping his tears, and he didn't even know he had the eyes. So, something clicks as he takes out the scroll that Naruto gave him, and he puts a bit of his blood on it, and as he did, lightning flows from the scroll, and it burns to nothing as all the lightning in him gathers into his eyes, making him feel a bit of a jolt, and he's in a bit of pain, and he covers his eyes as Itachi would ask what that was. Jiraiya then helps up Sasuke, who looks at Itachi having formed the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. That lightning, it was definitely Naruto, wasn't it? He did the same for me years ago, Itachi would say, as he would then show his eternal Mangekyo, shocking Sasuke and Jiraiya would ask, just how much did he do without the old man knowing? Now, as he says this, we then see Hiruzen at his new house, and he sneezes, thinking that Jiraiya must be talking shit about him. It's a thing in anime, someone talks bad about you behind your back, that person sneezes. So anyway, for now, Itachi has to be kept in prison until they have a trial, but luckily Naruto gathered a shit ton of info and evidence. So a few hours later, we then see all of the Konoha 11 gather to comfort Sasuke, as they had heard of his brother actually not being a traitor, and he was to be put on trial to be proven innocent. He's really back, Kiba would ask. Sasuke would then say, it's hard to believe it was all orchestrated. Sakura would then say, I love Lord Third, but he should have told us this. It shouldn't have been kept in the wraps. We deserve to know. Naruto would then say, don't worry, either way, Danzo is done for. Shikamaru would then say, by the way, how did you get all that evidence? Naruto then revealed that ever since he left the academy, he became an Anbu and was suspicious, so he snuck around, even getting super detailed pictures of Danzo, and no one even noticed. Well, it's good to know we know someone who can move faster than sound, right, Sasuke? Would say. Sasuke then nods, thanking Naruto again for finally telling him, and he understands why Naruto can say until now, and he sees that Naruto clearly cared enough to, orchestrate this whole thing and help out his brother. So the day of the trial comes, and instead of being in a courtroom, Jiraiya gathers everyone at the Konoha cemetery, and there will be tables set up for a place for the jury and for people watching in the back, like the masses. There, Naruto would expose all of Danzo's disgusting acts as he just took like very detailed pictures. The man was moving at super speed, but you know what I mean. So this would make everyone throw stones at Danzo while he was standing up in front of everyone as they would yell, "How could you do this? We trusted you. You're a monster." Getting riddled with rocks, Danzo would then wonder how it all went so wrong. And right in there in front of everyone, Sasuke would be given the honor of killing the traitor, and he was executed. And then came to the trial of Itachi Uchiha. This is when Naruto does the most work, and the others tried to criminalize him and criminalize Naruto, but it did not work, and the solid evidence just proves that Itachi is a good guy, and he's been forced to do something he shouldn't have to at his age. And this led to Itachi being considered someone who, yeah, he was just someone who he did what he had to do. He killed his own family for the sake of a village who hated him for years, and he didn't care. There's no way the villagers didn't feel guilty after hearing this. And this would lead to the current elders being removed from their seat, since all they did was just go with Danzo's plan instead of trying to help the Uchiha, and they made everyone in Konoha fear them, making them all racist. Now, after the trial was over, Itachi would come up and reveal all he could find out about the Akatsuki, and from what he learned, their plan was to use the Tail Beast power as a way to cast an everlasting and devastating genjutsu, which would entrance everyone in the world. And this made people murmur a bit, but other than that, the trial was basically over. Yeah, it's just like that. Now, after this, the village would be given more time to gather all this information, process all of it and accept it. But the world moves on, Naruto would get the Mist in an alliance and finish the Chakra Revolver, and his clones let him know that Nagato wants the reign to ally with Konoha as well. However, Black Zetsu hasn't stopped his advances and is currently marching through the sand with his army. And a clone of Naruto, which was around the sand, then alerts the real Naruto of this as he sees a huge army big enough to topple entire nations. We then see him in his home as he opens his eyes and he goes to tell Jiraiya about this. So when he does, and Jiraiya gets the news, he asks Naruto if this can be taken care of without escalating into a war. Yeah, it can if I can get enough food pills. I should be able to handle everything on my own. There's no need to make the people more scared than they already are. Oh, I thought you'd say something like maybe we need to gather the nations. Naruto then says that is not necessary, as it is not that big of a deal, not for him anyway. And soon Naruto will be given a lot of food pills to fill up on energy, and with that he heads out to the sand. Now just as he arrives in time, he intercepts the army of Zetsus, saying, "Yeah, this might take longer than I thought." Well, nothing a few clones can't fix. He then closes his eyes and calls for all the clones to gather around, the ones that he let go around the world, and they instantly gather behind Naruto, and there was about 1,000 clones exactly. You know what to do. Now, as the Zetsus keep approaching, they then see a streak of lightning past them as they recognize this as Naruto, and they get ready to fight, but then more streaks of lightning arrive, shocking them all, as they thought they were done for. But the clones would only pass by the Zetsus and do nothing else, marking them with the flying Raijin mark. Meanwhile, Naruto connects to the clones while activating KCM mode. This would also allow him to sense where the true perpetrator was, and he says, "Alright, I'll take care of you later." He then squats down making hand signs as the marks on the Zetsu shine, and he weaves a few hand signs, and then he uses his ultimate attack combo, Lightning Style, Lightning Storm. Lightning then bursts out of his chest in multicolored form as Naruto was drawing power from the actual Speed Force, and the Rising Mark just helped him focus and hit the Zetsus precisely. Now as the lightning strikes on one of the Zetsus, it would die on the spot, turning into a tree, making the others run away, but they weren't fast enough, and pretty soon they would all be dead and turn into trees, and trees would start to form in the desert, which was quite a weird sight, but still impressive. He then cancels out all the clones and runs to the cave where Madara once rested, and he would see Zetsu, who was sitting cross-legged and facing another way. How was this possible, thought Zetsu. He was tracking his army, but then in an instant they all died, and this is when he notices Naruto's presence, turning around shocked and confused as to how he could have possibly done what he just did. "What are you?" Naruto would ask. "Keep me alive and maybe you'll find out," Zetsu would say. Naruto would then say, You must think pretty highly of yourself, but I've had enough of you considering the type of being I'm pretty sure you are. This jutsu should do it." He appears in front of Zetsu, slamming his hand in his chest, casting a mark on him, which would allow Naruto to vaporize him with lightning, and after this he just looks around the place saying, "Why would anyone want to live here? It's so damp and creepy." He then speeds away as we go back to Konoha, and then he runs to Uchiha compound and he sees Sasuke and Itachi training at the Uchiha training grounds. Itachi then notices Naruto and throws a kunai at him as Sasuke looks to see Naruto caught it, and he would ask, "Can't you just walk up to us like normal people?" "Well, we're Shinobi, nothing is ever normal around here," Naruto would say. "So, how does it feel to be back home?" Itachi then says, a bit morbid, being proven innocent doesn't change what I did. Elderly, women, children, they were all killed by me. Naruto would then say, well, you can't change your past, but let's focus on bettering your future, starting with rebuilding the Uchiha bloodline. This would make Sasuke blush a bit as Naruto and Itachi then tease him about this, and now we're gonna do a 16-year time skip. 16 years would have passed, and the world of ninja has drastically changed. The Ninja Alliance has been made, with Naruto's tech spreading all over the world, and the Akatsuki prisoners were released, and some were either executed or being rehabilitated. Karin gets released and rehabilitated, as does Orochimaru, and Naruto slows down his biological clock to the point where he is immortal, and this made Orochimaru happy since he got what he wanted, so he became Naruto's assistant. And Naruto became the chief engineer of the village and fixed everything and came up with the inventions. You know, he was the main guy, but he never wanted to be Hokage because he still has a bit of hatred towards the villagers. That hatred will never disappear. He's not the same Naruto from back then. He doesn't just love everyone no matter what they've done to him. They're still kind of dicks. Some people in the village still don't like him. That's just reality, you know? Now, of course, Madara is gone now. Kisame was killed and Samehara was kept by Naruto in his lab since it likes feeding off of Naruto's chakra, and the Speed Force energy is just delectable. Not that it will really matter because it's not getting much else. Deidara gets killed. Obito actually gets rehabilitated and has learned to let go of ever getting Rin back, but he's still kind of sad. All the other members were killed, and Karin starts dating Sasuke. Jiraiya and Tsunade start dating, and Jiraiya soon give up the position in about 5 years forward. And Itachi got to be an Anbu captain, and currently Kakashi is the current Hokage. We then cut to Naruto in his workshop as he's working on fixing what everyone in the village calls the healing capsule. It is a big tube filled with an fluid, and it's big enough to fit an entire person. It has green fluid inside, which has healing properties. A 36-year-old Naruto then taps the capsule, looking around to see that it honestly was a little bit messed up. He had to do some repairs. This is when Orochimaru would walk up to him from the stairs. The smithy now had a personal workshop floor above the smithy, and that's where Naruto did most of his work. Now, as Orochimaru walks in, he says that Ino is here to see him. Thanks, and can you start fixing this? Sure, boss, says Orochimaru. Never thought I'd be saying that. Naruto and Orochimaru then chuckle at this as Naruto then heads down the stairs and sees Ino waiting for him with the bento box. He then speeds down, appearing right behind, hugging her. I told you to stop doing that, says Ino. Oh, come on, with Boruto getting his Keke Genkai, we haven't had enough time together lately. By the way, I only said Boruto because I want y'all to put whatever name you want there, and I couldn't decide on the name because the names weren't exactly, definite, but literally anything is better than Boruto. Just imagine it not being Boruto Uzumaki. Think of something else. Ino then says that it's true, and then they kiss, and she says that either way, at least he's not getting hurt. And Ino then gives Naruto the bento, and they head out for a walk. Yes, Ino gave up on Sasuke a while back, and Naruto started dating her, and now they're married and have a son named Boruto, or, insert name there. Sakura married Lee, as much as it's hard to believe. Sasuke actually ended up marrying Karin, obviously, and they have a kid too named Sarada, but she doesn't have glasses because that's retarded, and she has red hair instead of black. Now, all of the kids are the same in the original, except for, they're a bit more different in features. They actually look like their own person. Shikadai doesn't look exactly like Shikamaru. That's so fucking retarded. And right now, all the kids are in the academy. It's actually their first day, so Naruto and Ino would go meet up with their friends, and of course, this includes all of the Konoha 11 and people from different countries. Choji still marries the same person, so that everyone and their partners goes and hangs out and talks a bit until it's time for the kids to get out of school. When the bell rings and it's time for the kids to leave, they as well as the other parents would be waiting outside. Everyone would be waiting outside, and Shikamaru would then say, "This feels so nostalgic," as he then looks down at his watch. Yes, Naruto made watches. Neji would then walk up with Tenten hand in hand and saying hi to everyone, as Naruto would say, "You guys might want to brace yourselves." Everyone then wonders why he says this, when out of nowhere a streak of lightning comes from the school and it passes by all the parents, hitting them with wind, slamming into a tree. Everyone then looks back to see Boruto. "Hey dad, are all your family members just born with super speed?" asked Sasuke. Boruto would then say, "Sorry about that, I still don't know how to slow down yet." Then helps up Boruto, saying that it's okay because Naruto did the same thing in the academy. "Yeah, he cratered into a wall," says Sakura. Sasuke then says, "But being Naruto's kid, I'm pretty sure you have no bruises from that little crash." Boruto then notices that he actually has no bruises at all and says this Keke Genkai is super cool. The other kids will then start coming out and everyone is taking their kids home. However, Naruto says to Ino that he's gonna take Boruto out for a run to help him adapt since he's only got his powers like a few days ago. Try to keep up, says Naruto as he blasts past his son, and then Boruto would get a running start as he blasts off, leaving behind a streak of red lightning. Come back home soon, Ino would yell. Choji and Shikamaru would then ask how she even deals with that, and she says honestly, it's not easy. So that is the end of the video. What happens to the characters now is up to you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been me, Prince of What Ifs, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Goodbye.